evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
Oops. Maestro. We're gonna throw this into a movie.
See, is that better for you?
Educate me. I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
And welcome to this episode of Let's try that again. I'm not even going to edit that out. Welcome to this episode of Talk Dirty with your boy, me. And we're going to stay in New York for a minute. I know, normally that's where we start off the dirty shorts, right? Well, yeah, it's one of those days. Actually, it's one of those mornings. It's like 2:30 in the morning right now, so not gonna make any promises for what's gonna happen next. Nah, I'll be good. Back to that run in New York that we talked about before. Another player on the floor that really got my attention was Whiteside, 6'3", 175. What I liked about his game probably was the one thing that other people might not necessarily like about his game. A player like that with really good movement, with really ability to be in a good spot where he's supposed to be, you would want him to do that more with the ball. I think I would. Now, he made good choices at every good point. He made really good choices at every single point, whether he was with or without the ball. I think he could have been more of an offensive presence. And not because he was deferential, I just think it appeared to be as though he was trying to find his flow instead of making his flow. With his speed, with his ability, even at 6'3", I think he could make his flow. His first step is really great. And his ability to move through traffic was outstanding all day. Maybe there was something else that I could not see, something going on with his game, how he was looking at his teammates. Again, I'm always going to leave room for that because I'm only talking about what I see outside, how I see the game develop. You all know I'll watch it once, no notes. I'll watch it a second time, a few notes, watch it a third time. What stuck out to me all three times? What did I see? You all know how Maestro work, right? Well, in this particular case, I saw a player who, though he moved very well, I would like to see him move well with the ball in that same way and take advantage of that really present IQ of making really solid choices with the ball, because he can definitely be the sort of player that can impact a game on the offensive side, as a lot of smaller, faster players are able to do. He definitely has that kind of game from what I can see. And the other thing that I'll say about his game, going past the choice, the one thing that I think would make his game stronger is his defensive positioning. The one thing that he seemed to do was a lot of times he seemed to play low leverage but flat-footed. If you're going to be low leverage, you have to be balls of feet. You have to be balls of feet. If you're not balls of feet, it's too easy for someone to get around you. And I think if he would have had a quicker man on him that he was guarding, I think that would have happened a lot more than it did. Now, his athleticism made up for a lot of that, but I just think not even to put yourself in that sort of position, be ready to go low leverage. If you're going to go low leverage position, go low leverage position, but almost in a shortstop stance where you're on the balls of your feet, not on the heels of your feet. It's too easy for me to get past you if you're going to be that way. Well, I talked about how you do that, right? Jab right, jab left, step back, step, go. And if a person's on their heels, they're rocking. And when you double up on the rock, they're already off weight. You're past them. That could have happened to Cordell. His athleticism kept it from happening. Don't put yourself in that position, my man. Get on the balls of your feet. Lean into it. Trust your speed. You're going to run into very few players that have a first step anywhere close to where yours is. And even if you're reacting and you're that eighth of a second behind, your first 3 steps are going to make up for it anyway. That's the kind of faith I have in your game and what you're able to do. I definitely like to see you do more of that. And I like to see you use that to your advantage. Really good run, really good go. Thank you all for checking out this half of Talking Dirty with Maestro. You know what up on the other side.
Thank you for listening to Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorldNBA.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game,
be the game.
Now, back to Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hello, welcome back with your boy. Me. Again, in the Coach Pope torture chamber. It's your boy. Man, that dude, right? There you go again. So let's talk about something else that he actually asked some really good questions about, wanting to hear some more stuff about, and that is shot blocking. So this one is going to be broken up into a whole bunch of different pieces because, quite frankly, if you want me to break it down for you, shot blocking as an art comes down to with leverage, without leverage, low post, high post, wing. Those are 5 pieces right there. Each need their own identity, need their own pod, need their own everything. And we're gonna do that. I'm not gonna try to squeeze it all into one. But we're going to start, as we always do, we're going to start with talking about base principles of shot blocking. And that is it starts with how you react to ball positioning, high versus low. Also goes into the idea of if the player you're going against is taller or shorter than you. And I know that seems kind of obvious. Oh, it's easier when the player is shorter than you. No, it's not. Not if that player knows how to use their feet in order to move around you. So don't think that's the case. Height does not always get you to having a shot blocked. Base principles of most great shot blockers, and you see cats who do that. For instance, I'm going to give you an example. It's going to go back old school. Daryl Dawkins is one of the few players to actually legitimately block the sky hook from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And when I say legitimately block the sky hook, most cats would try to get inside Jabbar when he would make that turn. He'd make that pivot. So he'd do a pump fake, move back. Then he'd make a pivot and he would extend his arm. He had an incredibly long wingspan. He would extend his arm and he would make the sky hook, which is basically a shot position from behind his body, using his body as a shield to guard against his defender. And most players instinctively would try to move past him in order to get to the ball. Well, with his arm extended, so much room was taken up that they would never get there. I know. The funny video of, I think it was Muggsy Bogues sneaking up behind Kareem and kind of stealing the ball from a sky hook. I'm sure that's on YouTube. It has to be. But Daryl Dawkins didn't give into the okie doke. Daryl Dawkins, who had incredible ups, what he did was he let Jabbar get into his move, and then he treated it as a jump shot from distance. In other words, he treated it as a jump shot with him not having the leverage, which means he mirrored the angle of the shot. He squared, and he went straight up. Going straight up is like a lineman trying to block a field goal. He goes straight up, and that was the first and only legitimate block of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook that I ever saw. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was smart. After it happened one time, he changed the angle of his shot. And also, if you knew anything about Jabbar's game, he could do left or right. So he would have to get Dawkins off leverage. In other words, get his weight moving one way, and then he would make it a quick hook, almost like a snap hook shot. And he was pretty high percentage with that shot, by the way. So leaning into that base principle, ball position, high versus low. If the person you're defending, and we'll stay on it without leverage. If the person you're defending has the ball high, you mirror the ball high, but you don't jump into the ball. That's how you get a foul. You mirror straight up. In other words, you make it a geometry problem. As they go up to shoot, follow your arm with their elbow. If they have good form, their elbow is pointing toward the basket, or at least quartered toward the basket. You put your lead arm in between the elbow, the point of the elbow. I'm pointing at it like you can see me. In between the elbow and the ball, you're going to split that difference of those two if it's at a quartered angle. And by doing so, what you're doing is you're now limiting the area of where the ball can come out from their wrist, giving yourself the position you need in order to block that shot. But in order to block the shot, most people try to jump into the ball. Bad move. That's how you get a foul. You jump to the shot, which leads you to go straight up. And if you don't have those kind of ups, what you do then, instead of swiping at the ball, you spread eagle your hand to their face to obscure their view. Now, good shooters, that doesn't matter, but it gives you an opportunity to do what? Block their view. And eventually, here's how that impacts the shot. I used to do this against 7-footers a lot. When they would go up and I knew I couldn't get to the ball, I put my hand right in front of their face. Pizza pie my hand right in front of their face. Eventually, when they would go up against me, the ball would not go as high because they were trying to release quicker. And that would give me the opportunity to come down on the ball. And I would block the ball before the release. In other words, as they are releasing, it's still connected to their hands. I would make contact there. A lot of my blocks against the bigs happened that particular way. But I had to feed that by blocking their view first. Very strong. I'm not paying attention to the ball. I know you got the shot off. I don't have leverage. You do. So I'm doing this without leverage. I'm blocking your view because I want to change the angle of your shot. So now I can now do what? Go at the ball. That principle of shot blocking is sort of a gamesmanship principle. Again, it's chess, not checkers. So you have to be really smart about how you handle it. But this happens not as the shot is being made, but as the shot is being prepared. In other words, here's where your film study comes in. Notice your opponent's tendencies of when they make a shot versus when they fake a shot. A lot of players have tells. You know that they're not going to shoot it because maybe their heels stay flat to the floor as they make that motion. Whereas when they shoot, they actually get up on their toes. Little things like that. For some cats, I know I used to play against a lot of younger players. What I remember is I knew that they weren't going to shoot because their knees never flexed. When their knees flexed, I knew they were going to take the shot, and I would take advantage of that and time my jump with them, and that's how I would get blocks that way. If their knees didn't flex but their hands went up, I knew they weren't going anywhere, and sometimes I would make them think that they faked me out, and I would act like I was going to go up, and if they try to get past me, then I just step in front of them, do my favorite thing. You know what that is, fam? Get my charge. Here's where film study kind of comes in to help you be a stronger player, because once you learn tendencies, then you can react quick as you see those tendencies play out on the floor. And hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Again, this is shot blocking without leverage. I will do one with leverage. I will do one in low post, high post, and of course on the wing. It's an art mixed with a little science. Hopefully we can have fun learning about it. Again, if you want to hear anything else about it, you want to hear anything else to make it more fun to you, you know what to do. Holla at your boy. Let me know what's up. Let me know if this is helping you at all. Maybe Maestro just needs to shut up, because that's fine too. I haven't heard that before. Not ever. So, sorry. I'm not supposed to laugh during these. These are supposed to be very serious lectures, as someone has said earlier. So, give your boy a heads up on what's up. Back in the 60s, Batman was a millionaire, right? In 70s, 80s, and 90s, he became a billionaire. Shouldn't he be a trillionaire by now? Asking for a friend. Me?
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.